Hey everybody, what an amazing group. My name is Sperry. I met Dave through my brother Socks at a conference that had Paulo Freire and Kozel and Holt and all those folks at it in 1976 and thought, this sounds like an amazing school. And they went off to study alternative education for a year. And when I came back in my senior year at Ithaca College, I taught a course called Media and Images in 1978 at the new junior high program. And I hated school growing up. And I walked into that building and felt the energy, and I fell in love. That first camping trip, I really fell in love. Those songs, that spirit, etc. So I stayed until 2020. So my life was here, and with so many of you, and just the privilege of being able to have that, and so much that I've learned from all of that. I'll be brief. When I finished that year of volunteering, Dave came to me and said, "Hey, you're doing some cool stuff. Would you like to work here?" I said, "What do you mean? I'm not certified." I said, "Yeah, there's an aide position. We could get you." And I said, "Well, what would my job description be?" And he said, "Do cool things." He went to the staff and said, we could give everybody about $250 more bucks in your salary, or we could hire the kid to do cool things, including a family group and a bunch of classes and a bunch of other things. And they signed on. I ultimately got certified and spent the rest of my life here. But one of the cool things I got to do was bike group with Dave and Mac and Diane and David Giver and so many of you. Those amazing experiences. For the first time ever, tomorrow we'll have a reunion ride. 9:30 if you show up with a bicycle at Simeon's on the east side of the Commons. We'll take about an hour and a half, end up at my house about 11:30. You can just show up there too, 129 Klein Road, and just tell some stories and share the smiles and the hugs together. So I'm going to speak very briefly to one piece of what could be months of talking about Dave. Dave was a visionary. He saw the possibilities that would be connected, and he brought with him not only the vision, he brought the structures. He brought in 1974 with him family group and all-school meeting and committees. He brought with him the advisory committee and the school court and so many things that were structured around all the things that you've been hearing about. And he brought other ones later on, like GBE, etc. But Dave also knew things needed to change based on who you all were, the students that were around. So the all-school camping trip evolved into Trips Week, etc. But Dave had his eye on things. I remember times he would show up having got excited about something and said, "Oh, we're going to do this." And I remember thinking, well, either I get on board or I fight this right now really fast because I know how much momentum there is with Dave. He wanted to change the traditional structure of the 45-minute period, but the structure was in the hands of the student body to vote that in. That's a pretty radical thing. That the staff couldn't just decide, the principal couldn't just decide. Dave worked for years lobbying to go to a block schedule, interdisciplinary classes, and he achieved that, and we did it for a year, and the students rebelled. Some of you might be out here right now. I'm like, no, that didn't work. You guys weren't very well prepared. And they voted to overturn that process. And Dave had been working for years. That man had the ability to manipulate the system. He was principal of the school. He could have overturned it, but he had a deeper principle, which was the value of the community making the decisions in this school. He really trusted us to be able to make the best decisions, even if he disagreed deeply with that decision. So Dave Lehman gave us the faith in ourselves. He stopped the system from above so many times, and when he didn't, he brought us to the school board to fight. He stopped the system and got us to believe that we could be the people to make that decision, to have the courage and have the faith and the confidence to be able to do that. So, Dave Lehman, thank you for that enduring lesson in democracy and love.